From ancient art created by our oldest ancestors to Lance Armstrong upon the Apollo 11 space mission, here are the 5 most compelling pieces of evidence that alien life indeed exists and is flourishing upon the universe. If claims weren't enough for you, then what about hard evidence from the legend himself, Buzz Aldrin, the world-famous spaceman claiming tens of visits into outer space and beyond. However, it was stated that during the Apollo 11 flight, the members on board, including Buzz Aldrin, became increasingly worried as something was following them and their shuttle. However, what was strange is that the broadcasts Buzz and the crew radioed back to Earth were cut from live listening of the public, making many ufologists and alien conspiracy theorists wonder just why they felt the need to silence this information. At first it was believed to be another country's space shuttle, however no documented space research or space missions were being conducted at all at the day of the Apollo 11 mission. In fact, not at all the whole month. In recent years, Buzz Aldrin still refuses to give definite answers. During an interview, he confirmed his sightings, but seemed to avoid descriptive detail about just what him and the crew saw in that mission. In later years, a transcript of the mission was released online, and it was revealed that one of the crew members broadcasted back to Earth requesting to know the location of another part of the shuttle during takeoff. After the space shuttle gets out of the orbit of Earth, it disassembles the part of the ship. One of the crew members on board requested to find out where this disassembled part of the ship was, just in case this is exactly what they were seeing. It turned out that the disassembled part of the shuttle was over 6,000 miles away, and when they asked why they wanted to know such irrelevant information, they followed with, "Something's following the shuttle." If something really was observing, following, and stalking the Apollo 11 mission space shuttle, what exactly were they doing? Were they just watching us? Or were they laughing at how prehistoric some of our technology was? What exactly were they being watched by, and were they friendly or hostile? Humans have merely existed 200,000 years. In correlation to the Earth, that puts us at just 1 in 22,500ths of the Earth's lifespan. Computers have only existed since 1938, and sharing data and receiving information via the internet has merely existed 32 years. Thousands of years ago, the only way to record data was to either write it down or draw it, and our ancient Egyptian ancestors were definitely not scared to document what they had witnessed. One of the many ways early human beings documented their beliefs and stories was through cave paintings, and more commonly referred to in the pyramids as hieroglyphics. This picture here was taken of hieroglyphics in the Temple of Seti. As you can clearly see, these ancient drawings document not just one, but 3 rather strange and coincidental drawings. From this picture we can clearly see what looks to be a documented carving of a helicopter on the left, a car on the right, and just below what looks to be an unidentified flying object or some sort of blimp or zeppelin balloon. What's strange about this is all other images appear to be drawn correctly, ruling out the theory that many believe this to have been an accident. If this really was an accident, why wasn't it filed down, or covered up, or carved into something more intricate? The ancient Egyptians have long made modern scientists ponder about the origination of such works as the pyramids and their extremely intricate detail, structure, position, and strangely their incredible accurate alignment with planets and stars. Los Angeles, February 24th to February 25th, 1942. It was a late evening in Los Angeles on the night of February 24th. Many witnesses claim that it was almost a deafening silence. A sudden hum is said to have been heard by over 150 residents of the northern end of Hollywood, and upon inspection, it states over 200 eyewitnesses reported seeing multiple lights flashing low over the city of Los Angeles that night. Due to fear of Japanese bombing runs in the city, it was shut down into lockdown, and air raid sirens were put onto full blast. Many residents gathered into the streets to watch as all lights in the city were forced to be shut down, causing a mass blackout. The Los Angeles military gathered several flashlights and spotlights, of which they aimed towards the mysterious hovering lights. What was really strange was that no noise whatsoever was emitted from the flying aircraft. Over 1,400 50 caliber shells and anti-aircraft missiles were fired towards the mysterious flying objects. However, from several hits and sparks clearly indicating that they had hit the craft, miraculously it remained airborne. After several hours, the craft disappeared as quickly and quietly as it had shown, leaving no trace of any remains or signs of landing. The firing took place for a full hour between 3 AM and 4 AM, and it wasn't until 7 AM that the lights in the city were ordered to be turned back on. This event stormed media and news headlines and caused mass confusion ever since. Nowadays it is referred to as the Battle of Los Angeles, and nothing more is known of what happened to the mysterious craft, and no events much like this have happened since. The fact that the whole city was put to lockdown, and many residents of Los Angeles witnessed these events, how can you really rule this out? What is so significant, whether you believe it or not, it has been confirmed. This is not a mystery, and this is definitely not a legend, and through record studies, this is definitely not some sort of military operation. So, do you believe it or not? What really happened that night, and how did so many thousand residents of the Los Angeles city witness what they saw that night? 6EQUJ5. For some, this code is familiar enough to know what it is. 6EQUJ5. This is the code that was discovered one particular night in 1977 by Jerry Ehrman, a volunteer for SETI, or SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. He was currently volunteering at the Big Ear Radio Telescope of an Ohio State University, and was on the lookout for broadcasts and frequencies that were extraordinary and had origin of what seemed to be artificial creation and intelligence. On August 15, 1977, while he was working on a SETI project, a full 72-second window sequence was broadcasted from an observable region in space 120 light years away. Thankfully, the Big Ear was able to observe it, and to his amazement, the signal seemed to broadcast the code 6EQUJ5. Jerry quickly took to his red marker pen, circling his discovery, writing the word "wow" followed by an exclamation mark. To this day, this extraterrestrial contact is known as the WOW signal. No scientific researchers or workers at the SETI project have been able to pinpoint it or receive another response. However, some claim that it is all lies. Some even say that the broadcast was a cry for help, and at the time we received it, it was too late. What is interesting, however, is that if this really was extraterrestrials and they were trying to get our attention, what exactly were they trying to talk to us about? And what exactly did they want us to know? The fact that the code was broken by a 72-second sequence of letters and numbers proves that something intelligent out there must have cast it. Is the WOW signal just a random series of events that occurred one night? Or is this really extraterrestrial beings trying to contact us? Forget the spooky, forget the myths, legends and the unknown, and let's progress into the factual evidence. For many years, scientists and astronomers have pondered what could lie out in the universe. With the universe ever expanding, we can only see what scientists and astronomers like to call the observable universe. What's interesting about the observable universe is that we know it's much bigger. In fact, astronomers and scientists can only see as far as 46 to 47 billion light years away. That may sound like a lot. However, by now it's much larger. We're actually seeing the edges of the observable universe 47 billion light years ago. Now remember, that's light years ago, meaning the distance light can travel in a whole year, and that's an astronomical distance, and to think that's another 47 billion times that distance. However, NASA have just made a groundbreaking discovery using one of their telescopes named the Kepler telescope. Since 2014, NASA have been showing off their latest discovery, Kepler 186f. Is the closest NASA and scientists have found for a planet that looks like it has the potential to support life. It is the first planet with a radius similar to Earth to be discovered in the habitable zone of another star. It is too far to observe at this point in time. It is said that the planet is most likely to consist of rocks. However, this proves that in just 490 light years from Earth, we are already making discoveries of planets much like our own, with more than certain conditions of sustaining life. Let's just say, for instance, every 500 light years there's a habitable planet. That means that in the observable universe, that's 47 billion light years in size. That leaves the potential of 94 million other planets, much like Kepler 186f and our own planet, the Earth, to be habitable in the observable universe alone. The observable universe is 47 billion light years, meaning we're seeing it 47 billion years ago. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found something interesting. If you did, let me know down in the comments section below, and be sure to tune in for the next week's video, and keep your eyes in the skies.